Yes, Carey is a Rotary member. I met her at a conference I was doing. I think it was the meeting was in Allen. I think. Am I correct, Carey?
Fairview.
Fairview. I think it was the Fairview Club, but they had a meeting at the Allen Steakhouse.
It's actually on the Fairview side of the town, but that's okay.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know that. I thought that was still Allen. I wasn't aware. And we got to talking, and she said she loved. I always ask if there are any Rotarians that would like to speak, and she had a good topic on vision and health, and I thought it would be a good topic for all of us. And she's been very gracious because we rescheduled her when we had one of those meetings where we had to cancel a speaker and leave it open for a function. So she's come back, and I wanted to thank her for coming and look forward to hearing a topic tonight.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that, and you're very welcome on top of all of that. I appreciate the opportunity to meet new folks. So I appreciate the opportunity to share with you some information that can improve how you see the world around you. Tonight I'm going to talk for about 20 minutes, and if I can get my screen to work, I'll change my, there we go. I'm going to talk about the kinds of things that eating right is important for general health and well-being, but few people realize how your diet impacts your eyes. Our goal is to preserve good vision for a lifetime. So the outline of my presentation is these 4 bullet points: simple nutrition choices, things that happen as we age, common health conditions seen that you can actually see during an eye exam, and we'll talk about some of the research that supports the nutrition choices and recommendations. So on the simple nutrition part of it, in a nutshell, there are 7 essential vitamins and minerals needed by our bodies to function and perform well, and without them things go wrong. And I realize on the right-hand side that the print's a little bit small, but it is a simple 7 list. And it is easy to put the vitamin Bs all together and in a complex form. So, okay, let's go through those. CoQ10 is first. It's an enzyme that aids brain function, energizes cartilage, and prevents oxidative damage. Think of bones and joints, things of organ function. Vitamin A is an essential nutrient for good retina health and for your immune system function. Vitamin C, and I know you know this one, it's essential for immune system, but also repairs damage. So things like smoking, wound healing, things like that. Vitamin B6 and vitamin B9 and vitamin B12. You can put those all together. They're good for brain development, for glucose regulation, for hemoglobin formation. It's crucial for a healthy pregnancy. It reduces risk for age-related hearing loss, for macular degeneration, heart disease. It also helps with preventing some forms of cancer. Your vitamin D promotes calcium absorption, which is good for teeth, bones, joints, and acts as a natural hormone. Vitamin E helps to form red blood cells, repair damage, promotes elasticity, tear film, cornea, collagen. And then the long-chain fatty acids, the EPAs and DHAs, those are the ones that help with brain health, the link between your brain and your body to help with coordinated movement. And lastly on the list is lutein, the lycopene, and zeaxanthin. Those you take it together, it's good macular health. That's the center of your vision. And then it's pigment structural support, not just in the eye, but in every other place of your body that requires pigment for proper function and filtering. If you think about in the eye, the iris is also very full of pigment. It helps with filtering UV, and UV is what makes cataracts develop faster. So the darker your eyes, the slower your cataracts develop. And if your pigment is functioning properly, you can probably kick that cataract surgery choice down the road for at least a good 5, maybe 8, 10 years. That's a good thing. Moving on. So what happens? Okay, so if I eat all the right foods, does that mean that I'm in perfectly good health? Unfortunately, no. One of the other things that happens as we age is that we take medications to counteract all that stuff that goes wrong and wears out. So what are some of the conditions that we're facing? heart disease, hypertension, high cholesterol, diabetes, brain tumors. The list is on your screen there. Did you realize that all of these things can be seen and detected during an eye exam? Most people don't think of their optometrist as a primary care physician, but in truth, our role has a lot more to play with not just do I see right, but what else is changing in my body, and can I get information so that I can make choices in advance of devastating consequences. And that's part of what my role is, and part of the reason that I wanted to speak to you tonight. So what are some of the medications that we take? Things like statins, things like beta blockers, things like glucose stabilizers. There's a lot of the list that's on my next slide. But we take these for conditions, and guess what? They do the good job that they're supposed to, but they also deplete our body of those same vitamins and minerals that we need to maintain healthy eyes. For example, things like statins deplete our body of the vitamin E and the CoQ10 and the niacin that we need. Beta blockers take out our CoQ10. That's our housekeeper. The housekeeper in our mitochondria, which is the fuel cell in our bodies, is the one that regulates temperature and efficiency of organ function. Things like glucose stabilizers, those metformins and glucophages, they deplete your body of vitamin B12. Your nonsteroidal anti-inflammatories like Aleve and ibuprofen, they deplete your body of vitamin C, of your folic acid, and your zinc. Your diuretics, water pills, they deplete your zinc and they leach out other trace minerals, which we still need to have good cell-to-cell interaction and communication. Antidepressants, they deplete your CoQ10. The anti-asthma medications, they deplete your vitamin Bs, 6 in particular, but your 9s and 12s also. And then those anti-gastric reflux medications, they take out your vitamin B12, your folic acid, your vitamin C, and your iron. Hormone replacement therapies, things like estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, they deplete your vitamin B6, your C, your folic acid, and your zinc. So that's kicking your immune system, your ability to repair, and your cell-to-cell interaction. Birth control pills, nasal sprays, which is pretty common for allergy sufferers, and other antihistamines, they exacerbate dry eye and deplete your vitamin B12. That's red blood cell formation. That's function and communication within your whole body. So, what do we do? There were 7 essential minerals and vitamins that were identified in research. The age-related eye disease study is the major one done. It was a clinical trial sponsored by the National Eye Institute. It focused on subjects between 55 and 80 years old. That's kind of the target group here in this particular presentation. And it specifically looked at age-related macular degeneration and vision loss. But what they found as they reviewed the study materials, they actually went back and found other results of good health in conglomeration with the findings on macular degeneration. The nice thing about the ARES study, and there are several others out there, is that it wasn't just a single study. They took it for the first step, learned what they needed there, adjusted the study, and continued the study for another 14 years. So they not only learned one thing, but then they continued to learn more and more, taking what they had learned in the early steps and forwarding it into the next stages of research. It's one of the first few studies that have been designed that way, and it's been one of our most reliable. So let's go back to the things that we need to do. Vitamin C is that antioxidant that virtually all cells in our body depend on, including of the eye, where it's actively concentrated in all tissues, especially the cornea. So anybody who's had surgery on their eyes, like LASIK surgery or PRK or cataract surgery, needs to take extra vitamin C in order to feed the cornea and good repair. Your vitamin E, that promotes the health of cell membranes and DNA repair. The evidence suggests that vitamin E can significantly decrease the risk of cataracts, and in combination with other nutrients, slow the progression of macular degeneration. Those essential fatty acids, the DHA and EPAs, These build up in the eye to protect and insulate the light-sensing nerve cells and also act as that natural anti-inflammatory, which is common with dry eye. Lutein and zeaxanthin, these are the essential nutrients that work like internal sunglasses. They absorb damaging blue light to protect the macula, which is the center of your vision. And we need more than what we're getting in our regular diet. One of the things that the ARED study gave us is a recommendation that we need 9 to 13 servings of fruits and vegetables every day in order to get the recommended allowance. Now, in the U.S., most of us eat about 2 to 4 fruits and vegetable servings, and so we're less than half, even if we're being on the good side of our national average, we're less than half of the recommended allowances. We need to make sure that we include that so that we can feed our body not just for good eyesight, but also for overall body health. The 7 vitamins and minerals that I talked about in the beginning are exactly the same 7 that were identified in the ARED study, and that's why there are formulations of multivitamins available that say ARED on the outside of the packaging. Now, I'm not going to tell you that you need to go out and purchase something like that, but it's resource information so that you can know what are you purchasing and what are you looking at and why. So since none of us will consume a balanced diet every day, and many of us absolutely never will, I have a list of good stuff to do and good things to swallow. So to go over the list to do's. First off, drink water. Second is quit smoking. Wear your sunglasses that filter 100% of UV. Eat a balanced diet that includes fruits and vegetables, and again, that was 9 to 13 servings daily. Moderate your alcohol consumption, and no, I do not mean you have to cut out every single adult beverage that you'd ever wanted and hoped, but to moderate it with your water water intake, excuse me. So for every glass of wine, drink a glass of water. Exercise daily. Monitor your waist circumference. For gentlemen, it's 40 inches, and for ladies, it's 35. And generally speaking, monitor your overall body health. Things like bones, teeth, joints, eyes, those are all the things that impact our quality of life. And if we can chew and walk and talk and see and swallow, isn't life so much better than if we don't do those things easily? So on the swallow part, you need an omega-3, 6, and 9, a good combination. You need a CoQ10. You need a vitamin A unless you're a smoker, and we'll talk about that in a moment. You need to take a good vitamin B6 complex. You need brewer's yeast to help with digestion and other cell-cell interactions. You need your vitamin C, and the recommendation is 500 milligrams in a non-synthetic form like rose hips. You need vitamin E, and you want to look for both the gamma and delta forms on your supplement labels. You need EPA and long-chain fatty acids. And the last is the lutein, lycopene, and zeaxanthin. Those are usually found in combination. These are much more easily found and digested and absorbed by our bodies if we get them in food than if we take them in multivitamin supplements. But I do understand that not everybody is going to be willing to eat them, and I understand that 9 to 13 servings of fruits and vegetables is sometimes tough to get in your daily diet. So let's talk about smokers for just a moment. Vitamin A and carrots are a great source of vitamin A. We've all heard that myth that carrots are supposed to be good for your eyes. So yes, for many people, vitamin A from carrots is a very good source. But for smokers, it is not a good choice. One of the things that came out of the studies is that for smokers, if you smoke, and they define it as 1 cigarette for 1 year of your life ever. So if you have smoking in your background, or if you are currently a smoker, carrots and other sources of yellow vegetable vitamin A is not a good idea because it increases your already elevated risk for developing lung cancer because you're a smoker by over 30%. It's like stepping on the gas pedal of risk. So for those people who have that in their medical profile, the recommendation is not for you. So That wraps up my presentations. I'll leave you with one final thought, and that is your eyes are designed to last a lifetime. As long as you treat them nicely, they will. At this point, I'd like to open it up for questions, but I do have one thought there. I have a handout, and, oh, let me switch. It looks like this. It's an Excel spreadsheet, and I'm happy to email that to anyone on the call. I just need your email address, and it has a list of good vitamins to do that, and also the foods that cross-reference to where you can find them and recommended daily allowance. So happy to provide this. Usually when I'm speaking in person, I use this as a handout, but for virtual live, I would happily email that to you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Patrick. Do you say you see our email addresses?
No, you got to.
Oh, wait, do we have to send those to you?
I don't have a list, but perhaps one of you could send that to me. That would be fine. I'm happy to distribute it to everyone on the call.
You already have Howard's email address. Howard, can she email it to you and you can distribute it to the rest of us?
I don't have any information, but I could send it to you.
Okay, okay, send it to me.
Okay.
And use eh.enterprises@verizon.net. And then I can forward that on to our members.
More than happy. So just to confirm, EHENTERPRISES@verizon.net.
Put a period after the EH.
Okay. Got it.
Right. Okay. Thank you. Now, are there any questions? It sounds like anything we take to cure one disease or one ailment will be counteracted by some of these other things.
Well, and that's one of the things that I want to make sure everybody hears, and I'm so glad you brought up that point, is that anything we take medication-wise will have its proper impact. It's useful in its intended purpose, but it has a side effect. Every medicine does. And if it has a nutritional side effect, you need to then make sure you're eating in a different way to counterbalance what it's taking out of your body.
Okay, I see some people eating. Are y'all eating a balanced meal? I'm sorry, they're eating. They can't answer me.
If we're not going to get it.
What did you say, Rick? Oh, okay. Well, we're getting ready to go out, I guess, and get groceries. But I know for every medication that's listed in a magazine, there's like 2 or 3 pages of counter effects. David has a question or a comment.
Well, I was going to say, yes, we have good intentions of eating properly every day, every meal. But sometimes some of us backslide a little bit.
You're exactly right.
Something other than taking 9 or 10 different items that we can take to help.
Yes, and there are very good vitamin supplements that have most of what I was just talking about. You need to be sure you read your labels so that you get what's most impactful for you, and some of that will include keeping in mind what your current medications are, and you need to opt that particular personal list.
Okay.
Where do we find that?
What type of, is that going to be a list that you send us, or that's in that?
You can certainly send that. Let me go up here. It's these, okay? And if you look to the left, there's your list. Complete vitamin C, E, CoQ10, 6, 12, folic acid, iron, and zinc.
Okay.
Okay.
And so, well, this is a list you're going to be sending to us. So,
Sure.
Okay. And then also, Chris is our videographer, and he records all of this, and this will be put up on our website if that's okay with you.
It is absolutely okay.
Okay. Anybody in-house have any questions or online?
Oh, wow. Can we show that?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you, Rick.
It's not mutually exclusive. It has to do with, does the nicotine change the DNA structure of your cells? Because the DNA structure is what predisposes the development of lung cancer. We all have our individual DNA chain. But if you've been smoking that long for 50 years or 20 years or 2 years, that also has an impact. And you're the one who can answer that question more efficiently. What is your exposure, and how impactful might that be on your DNA cell structure?